We're looking at Los Angeles. Chaos and clashes as ICE raid locations throughout our city, taking at least 24 into custody. The raid sparking confrontation between protesters and federal agents, including one man who tried to stop an SUV and was nearly run down.
And breaking right now, a large crowd of people is gathering at the Roybal Federal Building in downtown Los Angeles. And as you can see right there, you can see some of that crowd. It's been contentious for much of the day as protesters showed up as those ICE raids happened at a couple of locations through Los Angeles. We have a reporter there on the scene, Christine.
With that, we welcome you to the Fox 11 News at 5, simulcast on our sister station Fox 11 Plus. I'm Christine Devine.
And I'm Laura Diaz, in for Alex Michelson. Team coverage on this breaking news. Gina Silva is in downtown Los Angeles. She spoke to people who were there.
First, we go live to Christina Gonzalez at the Roybal Federal Building. We just showed you that overhead shot. She's there on the ground where the crowd is gathered. Christina.
Let me kind of just show you what's going on, because this actually has been developing. So you have people actually trying to get inside the federal building at one point. They're actually painting the walls. They are trying to get in. The officers, the federal officers who were guarding the door, had to go inside. Over here, they are deciding what they're going to do next. This is one of several groups that have been protesting downtown because people going into courthouses to their hearing at the Roybal building have been detained. Let me give you a sense of what has been happening all day. Let's go to that. Code 3 unmarked vans coming into the Metropolitan Detention Center to pick up immigrants detained at the adjacent Roybal Federal Building. Federal agents picking them up when they showed up for their scheduled immigration hearings. You can hear someone asking for help from behind a hallway closed door. The images being sent by immigration attorneys who were there with their clients to the League of the United Latin American Citizens.
This started as early as Tuesday. Some folks were being detained, obviously, more than 24 hours in some cases. That they were children, that they were women that were expecting.
That they were showing up for their usual check-in, that they had had a stay placed on them so that they didn't deportation stay, so they weren't supposed to be detained or deported, and that they were basically being held in the basement, and that they were given some kind of tent, sleeping in tents.
The basement or interview rooms at Roybal are being used because the local holding facilities are full.
The actual ICE detention center is actually full, and so where they would have come in and been able to go home, they've been detained, and they're now in the process of actually trying to be deported. So we already know that there's some folks actually already in Texas and into the pipeline for deportation.
The people united will never be divided.
All this happening while immigration groups protest outside, where business is going on at the federal building as usual. People coming in for their hearings, including this man who says he's been detained when appearing in court.
I've been through all that. I just came back on and on and on. At the end of the day, I'm a citizen of the United States of America.
My name is Ron Gortz. On behalf
But his positive view is not shared by people here. These people are angry. You know, right now they're gathering here in front of the federal building for the rally that they were supposed to have. At 6 o'clock, we're going to show you what happened, because they actually they pushed the officers who guard this building back into the building. It got pretty ugly. There was one person who was arrested. Now, the attorneys inside with those people that you saw were telling me on the phone that at the height of this thing, they had about 100 people who were being detained. They've been moving them out. They've got about 30 left. Again, a developing situation here in downtown Los Angeles. A lot of anger about what's going on at the courtrooms at the Federal Roybal building. I'm Christina Gonzalez live. We'll be here. We'll be back at 6 o'clock and show you some more of what's been going on. So stay tuned. Back to you guys in the studio.
It's been a contentious day here in Southern California with those raids at 7 different locations, like a Home Depot, a garment location as well. As we're watching this news conference here, it is a Friday night, and sometimes when we have big occasions and events here in Southern California, they can extend throughout the evening. Are you seeing this going longer than just a news conference?
Is by definition terrorism. It is
You got to repeat that again. I lost the end of that because I got people screaming next to me.
Do you see this wrapping up anytime soon?
No, they just started. And there was actually talk that they were going to join the other group that is up the street. You've got about 50 people on the other side of the building also protesting. So it's anybody's guess right now as to what's going to happen.
Christina, federal agents, of course, are at the helm of this, but we know that the LAPD has been called in for crowd control. What are you seeing there in terms of people who are in charge of what's happening?
Well, and that is the big unknown, because this started out very peacefully, and suddenly a group went up to the door of the federal building, which, remember, I mean, they could have all gotten arrested. One person did, and they started trying to get in, and they actually pulled back when the agents went inside and locked themselves in, and now they came out here to start this rally. So, yeah, LAPD is being called because you've got a situation where one moment is very peaceful, and then some people get out of the group, and you don't know what's going to happen. And that is why LAPD is actually beginning to gather around us. But the crowd I'm surrounded by right now, which is about 50, 60 people, is pretty peaceful right now. If the other groups around join us, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. We'll be here.
Right.
All right, Christina, thank you. And we talked about people being detained at that location. We might hear from some of their attorneys as they come out and give us more information.
Yeah, hopefully it does stay peaceful where Christina is
Absolutely.
tonight. Well, earlier, chaos unfolded on the streets of downtown Los Angeles as ICE conducted raids there. Let's go live now to Gina Silva.
Gina, you spoke to protesters.
Absolutely, and you say chaos. It was absolutely that and more. Chaotic, and of course tensions quickly escalated when the protesters clashed with the federal agents. Take a look at what happened.
It sounded like a war zone in downtown LA, with federal agents hurling flashbangs into the air, trying to scatter protesters during an ICE raid.
They are saying they're doing this because they're going after criminals. They're not going after criminals, they're going after workers.
Multiple ICE raids were carried across Los Angeles. In the Fashion District in downtown LA, several workers were detained at Ambience clothing store on Town Avenue. Rosa Ramirez says one of them was her friend.
Sad, because all of us, we have family, and it's really sad. I don't have words. He was only my friend, and I feel bad for him.
When ICE agents arrived in white vans, protesters tried to block them from entering the parking lot. They were quickly pushed aside, and during the scuffle, several people were reportedly injured, including SEIU President David Huerta. Rosa says they were all forcibly removed.
They grabbed anyone that was there. So they grabbed me. First, they grabbed my daughter and pushed her on the fence. I tried to get her, and then the FBI got me from the throat.
A spokesperson for U.S. Attorney Bill Essayli says the raids at Ambience locations were conducted to serve search warrants based on probable cause that the employer was using fictitious documents for some of its workers. The FBI, the ATF, and ICE agents conducted Friday's raids. The LAPD was present, but Chief Jim McDonnell issued a statement that says in part, while the LAPD will continue to have a visible presence in all our communities to ensure public safety, we will not assist or participate in any form of mass deportations.
I think it's horrible, honestly. I think there needs to be some change because there's no way that this should be all right, that they could just come in and take them whenever they want.
As the white ICE vans tried to leave the area, protesters blocked their path. One person fell and appeared to be struck. The van kept on going.
People should not be kidnapped. Right now we're seeing a lot of what used to be called fascism. And right now they are kidnapping folks. There's no due process.
Local officials say they had no warning prior to the raids, and of course, ICE is not saying whether or not they will have more raids in Los Angeles. Christine, Laura, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much for that perspective. We're going to see you again in the next half hour. Resistance tonight from LA's immigrant communities.
Civil rights groups and officials have been speaking out all day against the federal raids.
And we are in a situation where every single person who believes in democracy and believes in the ability of us to live free in this country is under attack.
So we covered this live here around 4 p.m. That's protesters there who had gathered earlier outside the LA Federal Building about an hour ago. Organizers there are part of the LA Rapid Response Network. They aim to support immigrant communities and protect their rights. Community members say they are uniting to ensure resources and advocacy are available for those affected. We are going to continue to monitor this situation. Breaking news here and bring you an update at 5:30.